Children. Before the first arrow flew, before the conch shells echoed across Kurukshetra, something far more important happened. A conversation. A warrior broke down, and a divine guide spoke. Arjuna, voice trembling. Krishna, please stop the chariot. My hands are shaking. My bow is slipping. Those standing before me are not enemies. They are my grandfather Bhishma, my teacher Dronacharya, my own cousins. How can I fight them? What victory is worth this sorrow? Krishna, calm, resonant voice recites.
अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासु नक्तासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः.
Arjuna, confused. Krishna, why do you say I grieve unnecessarily? Is this not compassion? Krishna, Arjuna, you speak words of wisdom, yet your sorrow is misplaced. The wise grieve neither for the living nor the dead, because they see beyond the body. Krishna recites again.
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूय अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
Arjuna, they will die, Krishna. How can I not grieve? Krishna, the body is born and the body dies, but the soul is unborn, eternal and indestructible. Weapons can destroy flesh. They cannot touch the soul. Arjuna, if I stop feeling pain, will I not lose compassion? Krishna recites.
जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युर्ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मात् परिहार्येऽर्थेन त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि.
Krishna, compassion is pure, Arjuna. Attachment binds. For one who is born, death is certain. For one who dies, birth is certain again, grieving over the unavoidable clouds of the mind. Arjuna, then tell me honestly, Krishna, should I drop my bow and walk away? Would that not be peaceful? Krishna recites firmly.
स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्याद्य युद्धात् श्रेयोऽन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते.
Krishna, for a warrior, there is no greater duty than a righteous battle. Running away from duty is not peace. It is fear wearing the mask of peace. Arjuna, but what if my actions bring destruction? What if I fail? Krishna recites calmly.
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफल हेतुर्भुवा मा ते संगोस्त्व कर्मणि.
Krishna, you have the right to act, Arjuna, not to the fruits of action. Do your duty without craving success and without fearing failure. Arjuna, then what is the right way to act, Krishna? Krishna recites.
योगस्थ कुरु कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा धनंजय सिद्ध्य सिद्ध्योः समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते.
Krishna, act with balance, equal in success and failure. This balance of mind is yoga. Arjuna, how can fighting become sacred? Krishna recites.
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्त संघः समाचर.
Krishna, when action is done as an offering to dharma, it frees the soul. Work done for ego binds. Work done for righteousness liberates. Arjuna, my mind still shakes, Krishna. Show me the truth beyond all doubt. Krishna, voice echoes, recites.
कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् प्रवृद्धो लोकान् स्माहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्तः रतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे येव स्थिताः प्रत्यनीकेषु योद्धाः.
Krishna, I am time, Arjuna. All warriors here are already destined. You are merely my instrument. Arjuna, kneeling, voice steady. Krishna, tell me the final truth. Krishna recites softly.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः.
Krishna, surrender unto me alone. I will free you from fear and sorrow. Do not grieve. Arjuna, calm, clear. My confusion is gone. I will do my duty, not with anger, but with wisdom. He lifts Gandiva. The Bhagavad Gita was not spoken to the world. It was spoken to one confused heart. And when that heart found clarity, history changed. The conch shells blew. The war of Kurukshetra began. What did we learn today? Asking questions is courage. Doing your duty matters more than fear. Balance brings peace. Right action is true worship. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. Dear children, the Bhagavad Gita has been spoken. Arjun's doubts have faded. His bow, Gandiva, is steady once more. Two vast armies stand face to face on Kurukshetra. Horses stamp the earth. Dust floats in the golden air. Yet the war does not begin, because Bhishma Pitamah has not blown his conch shell. Bhishma stands at the head of the Kaurav army, white-haired, calm, unmoving like a mountain. He is the commander of the Kaurav forces. Until he gives the signal, no warrior can lift a weapon. Duryodhana senses something is wrong. He is getting restless. Yudhishthir steps down from his chariot. Gasps ripple across the battlefield. Unarmed, he walks alone across the field of death, towards the enemy commander. Arrows could fly, but none do. Yudhishthir bows deeply before Bhishma. Pitamah, he says, before this terrible war begins, I seek your permission and your blessings. My child, Bhishma says, you have already won by choosing dharma. He blesses him. May truth protects you. May righteousness stands by your side. Then, Bhishma raises his conch shell. The sound echoes across Kurukshetra. The war begins. Conch shells roar. Drums thunder. War cries fill the sky. Arjun fires arrows with unmatched skill. Bhim charges like a storm, breaking enemy lines. Duryodhana fights fiercely, swinging his mace with pride and rage. But above all warriors stands Bhishma. Bhishma fights like time itself. His arrows fall like rain. Entire Pandav divisions collapse. Thousands of soldiers fall. Even Arjun struggles to protect his army. Bhishma does not strike the Pandavas directly, but he destroys their strength. By sunset, the battlefield is silent with loss. Krishna watches quietly until he cannot. He sees Arjun hesitate again and again. Suddenly, Krishna leaps from the chariot, lifts a broken chariot wheel, and walks toward Bhishma. If Arjun will not fight for dharma, Krishna roars, then I will. The earth seems to tremble. Arjun drops his bow and runs. He falls at Krishna's feet. Oh, Madhava, do not break your vow because of me. Krishna stops. This is not compassion, Arjun, he says. This is attachment. Arjun rises again, clear-eyed, resolved. I will fight. Night falls. The Pandavas sit in silence. Yudhishthir is troubled. How can we win, he asks, when Bhishma himself fights against us? Krishna answers softly. Only Bhishma knows how Bhishma can fall. That night, the Pandavas walk into the Kaurav camp. They bow before Bhishma. Bhishma is surprised. Why have you come? Yudhishthir replies, to ask how this war can end. Bhishma smiles sadly. My vow binds me, he says, but hear this truth. I will never raise a weapon against a woman. The secret is revealed. The next day, Shikhandi rides to the front.
Yes, it has been my life's mission to vanquish him.
Bhishma sees him and lowers his bow. Arjun fires arrow after arrow, not with hatred but duty. Bhishma falls, but he does not die. He lies calmly on a bed of arrows, his body supported by shafts. His face is peaceful. The war stops. Bhishma speaks. I am not dead. I hold the boon of Ichamrityu. I will choose the moment of my death. I will leave this body only when the war is over and the sun turns north. All warriors stand silent. The Pandavas approach first. They bow deeply. Krishna steps forward and bows. Your duty is complete, Pitamah. Bhishma smiles. The Kauravas follow. Even Duryodhana lowers his head. Teachers, students, enemies, family, all stand before Bhishma Pitamah. The sun sets. The greatest warrior of his age has fallen, yet still lives. Children, the war has begun, and already many warriors are dead. Bhima has already killed many Kaurav brothers, and today it has taken something priceless. The next commander will rise, and the war will grow darker. What have we learnt today? Respect can cross even battle lines. In war, everyone loses, but you shall always fight for dharma, for what is right. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. Dear children, the first day of the great war had ended. Bhishma Pitamah lay on his bed of arrows, alive yet fallen. The battlefield was silent, but only for a moment, because war does not pause for grief. With Bhishma unable to fight, the Kauravas faced a difficult question. Who could lead an army when the greatest warrior had fallen? All eyes turned to Dronacharya, the royal guru of Hastinapur, teacher of the Pandavas, teacher of the Kauravas. Dronacharya did not want this role. His heart was heavy, but duty called. Duryodhana bowed and said, Guruji, lead us, protect Hastinapur. Drona closed his eyes. He knew this war was wrong, yet he also knew he could not abandon his duty. And so, Dronacharya became the Senapati. Until now, Karna had not fought. Bhishma had denied him to fight in the battle so far. Now Karna stepped forward. He bowed before Dronacharya. Guru, he said, give me permission to fight. Drona nodded. The sun-born warrior had entered the battlefield. The war grew fiercer. Dronacharya knew one truth. As long as Yudhishthira lived, the Pandavas would never break. Duryodhana proposed. If you capture Yudhishthir, I promise I won't kill him, and the war will be over. Drona assumed that he would give them some land, and their dispute would be resolved. I will not kill my students, Drona confirmed, but I will capture their king. To do this, he ordered the formation of the Chakravyuh, a spinning, deadly circle of warriors from which escape was nearly impossible. Only Arjuna and Sri Krishna knew its secrets. Duryodhana asked Sri Sarma, king of Trigartha, to challenge Arjuna and take him away from the main battlefield. The next morning, Sri Sarma challenged Arjuna. Arjuna had to accept. Krishna sensed danger, but fate moved faster. The Kauravas created a distraction far from the main battlefield. Arjuna, protector of Yudhishthira, was pulled away. The center was left exposed, and that was when Drona gave the signal. Chakravyuh was formed. The Pandavas panicked. Yudhishthir, Bhim, Nakul, and Sahdev. No one knew how to break it. How do we break it? They cried. Then a young voice spoke. I know how to enter. It was Abhimanyu, son of Arjuna, nephew of Krishna, barely 16 years old. He had learned the secret in his mother Subhadra's womb. He did not know how to exit, but he did not hesitate. Bhim said, Don't worry. You help us enter the Chakravyuh. We will break it. Abhimanyu entered the Chakravyuh like a comet of courage. But Jaydrath, who had received the boon from Shivji, stopped all four brothers single-handedly. Inside, Abhimanyu fought like a lion. One by one, great warriors fell back. Drona watched in awe. Even Karna was stunned. But courage alone was not enough. The Kaurava warriors broke all rules. They attacked together, from all sides, with weapons forbidden by dharma. Abhimanyu's bow broke. His chariot shattered. Still he fought, with a wheel, with his fists, with his breath. At last, the young hero fell. The battlefield froze. The war had crossed a line. When Arjuna returned and saw his son's body, the earth shook with his cry. He took a vow before the setting sun. By tomorrow's sunset, I will kill Jayadrath, the man who blocked the Pandavas and trapped my son, or I will enter fire. The war paused. Everyone knew. If Arjuna failed, the Pandavas would lose hope. The next day, the Kauravas hid Jayadratha, behind warriors, behind shields, behind fear. Time slipped away. The sun began to descend. Then Krishna did something extraordinary. He created an illusion. The sun appeared to set early. Jayadratha smiled in relief, and in that instant, Arjuna released his arrow. Krishna removed the illusion. The sun still shone. Jayadratha fell. Arjun's vow was fulfilled. But the war demanded more blood. Dronacharya became unstoppable. The Pandavas were breaking. Then Krishna whispered to Bhim, "Kill that elephant, Bhim." Bhim said, "But why, Krishna?" Krishna replied, "Do you know his name? His name is Ashwatthama." Bhim understood. He threw a mace at the elephant, and it fell. Bhim shouted, "I have killed Ashwatthama! I have killed Ashwatthama!" Dronacharya froze. He went to Yudhishthir. "Is it true?" he asked. Yudhishthir lowered his head and said softly, "Ashwatthama is dead." The elephant. Drona heard only the first part. His bow fell. His will broke. At that moment, Drishtadyuman, born to kill Drona, fulfilled destiny. Dronacharya fell, a teacher, a father, a tragic warrior. Dear children, today we learned, war destroys rules before it destroys people. Courage without protection can be fatal. Unfair victories leave permanent scars. Even the greatest teachers fall when attachment blinds wisdom. The war of Kurukshetra had now become personal, and darker days were still to come. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. Dear children, the war of Kurukshetra had entered its darkest phase. Two great commanders had fallen. Bhishma Pitamah lay on his bed of arrows. Dronacharya, the greatest teacher of all, had met his tragic end. Now the battlefield trembled, not with strategy, but with destiny. The Kaurav army needed a new leader. All eyes turned to one man, Karna, the son of the sun god, a warrior of unmatched generosity, a hero who had lived his entire life proving his worth. Duryodhana stepped forward and said, "Friend Karna, the Kaurav army is now yours. Lead us to victory." Karna accepted silently. He knew this war would decide everything. But before fate could move forward, we must remember a moment from Karna's past. Long ago, Indra himself, king of the gods and father of Arjun, came to Karna in disguise. Indra knew Karna was protected by his divine armor and earrings, the kavach and kundal, which made him nearly invincible. He knew this gift would cost him his life. Yet Karna did not hesitate. With a smile, he cut away his kavach and kundal and offered them to charity. Moved by his generosity, Indra granted Karna a boon, a single divine weapon, the Shakti Astra, which would never fail but could be used only once. Karna saved that weapon for one purpose alone: to kill Arjun. Back on the battlefield. As Karna became commander, the earth shook with a terrifying roar. Ghatotkach had arrived, Bhim's son, born of the Rakshasi Hidimba, a warrior of night, illusion, and monstrous strength. Under the cover of darkness, Ghatotkacha attacked. Where his mace fell, soldiers vanished. Where his illusions rose, armies collapsed. Elephants flew into the sky. Chariots shattered. The Kaurav army panicked. Thousands fell. By morning, Duryodhana was trembling with fear. His laughter echoed across Kurukshetra. When the night finally grew silent, Ghatotkacha returned to the Pandava camp, victorious, glowing with battle fire. Bhim stepped forward with pride shining in his eyes. He embraced his son tightly. "My brave warrior," Bhim said, his voice filled with emotion. Gatotkacha bowed to Yudhishthira. He saluted Arjuna, and then he folded his hands before Shree Krishna. Krishna looked at him with deep understanding, as if he already knew what destiny had written. "Rest tonight," Krishna said softly. "Tomorrow you will be needed again." The next day, when the sun rose high and bright, Gatotkacha returned to the battlefield, this time in broad daylight. Even without the cover of darkness, he was unstoppable. With every swing of his mace, hundreds fell. With every roar, fear spread through the Kaurava ranks. The Kaurava army began collapsing in thousands. Duryodhana watched in horror. "If this continues," he cried, "we will be destroyed before sunset." He rushed to Karna. "Do something! Stop him!" Karna stood silent, watching the devastation. "I have one weapon," he said slowly, "the Shakti Astra, but I have saved it for Arjuna." Duryodhana's voice trembled with panic. "If Gatotkacha is not stopped now, there will be no Arjuna left to kill. He will finish this war himself." Karna understood. This was the moment destiny demanded. If he did not act, the Kaurava army would crumble. If he did act, he would lose his only chance to defeat Arjuna. For a brief moment, Karna closed his eyes. Then he lifted the Shakti Astra. Lightning tore through the sky. The divine weapon flew straight toward Gatotkacha. It struck him with unstoppable force. The mighty warrior staggered. But even in death, Gatotkacha did not fall quietly. The earth shook. Silence followed. Bhim ran forward, his heart shattered. "My son," he whispered. But beside him, Krishna smiled gently. Not in cruelty, not in joy, but in relief. Bhim turned to him in confusion. "How can you smile at such a moment?" Krishna spoke softly. "The weapon Karna used today was meant for Arjuna. It could be used only once. Now it is gone." Bhim understood. Gatotkacha had not only fought bravely, he had saved Arjuna's life. The next day, destiny brought two legends face to face, Arjuna and Karna. Arrows clashed like thunder. The earth trembled. At the same time, Bhim remembered his vow when he saw Dushasana, the man who had humiliated Draupadi. Bhim attacked him with unstoppable fury. The mace battle began. With a final blow, Dushasana fell. Bhim fulfilled his oath, carrying the blood to Draupadi and saying, "Justice has been served." Nearby, Sahadeva faced Shakuni, the mastermind, the man of dice. With one strike, Shakuni fell. And the poison that began the war was silenced forever. Now only one battle remained, Arjuna versus Karna. Karna's chariot wheel sank into the earth. He asked for time. Krishna spoke softly. "When dharma is broken, mercy cannot stand." Arjuna hesitated, then remembered his duty. The arrow flew. Karna fell. A great hero, born royal, lived rejected, and died loyal to the wrong cause. The battlefield fell silent. Dear children, today's story teaches us, great generosity does not erase wrong choices. Power without dharma leads to tragedy. Destiny protects righteousness, even though sacrifice. And heroes are remembered not only for strength, but for truth. The war was not yet over. One final battle remained, Bhim, Duryodhana, and the last judgment of Dharma. We will meet again in the next story. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. Dear children, the war of Kurukshetra had reached its final breath. Karna had fallen, Shakuni was dead, Dushasana lay defeated, The mighty warriors of the Kaurav army were gone. The army had lost its spirit. The sun rose on the 18th day of the war, but the Kaurav army did not appear on the battlefield. Seeing his army destroyed, Duryodhana fled, not out of cowardice, but out of shock. He hid inside a lake, using mystical powers to remain underwater. The Pandavas searched for him. Krishna smiled and said, "He hides not because he fears death, but because he fears defeat." Bhim roared into the lake, "Duryodhana, come out, or I will drink this lake dry." Unable to bear the insult, Duryodhana emerged, still proud, still unbroken. Yudhishthir gave him the option to choose the weapon of his choice and the opponent he wished to fight. He chose his weapon, the mace, and he chose his opponent, Bhim. But before this final duel, something powerful had happened. Gandhari, mother of 100 sons, she sent word to Duryodhana, "Come to me after bathing. Come without clothes." Her eyes held divine power. She wished to make her son invincible. On the way, Duryodhana met Krishna. Krishna gently said, "You are a grown warrior? At least cover yourself." Duryodhana wrapped banana leaves around his waist. When Gandhari looked at him, her gaze turned his body as hard as Vajra, like thunder, unbreakable, but the leaves blocked her sight from his thighs, and through destiny left a single opening. Just before the mace battle, Balram, elder brother of Krishna and mentor of both Duryodhana and Bhim, arrived. The mace battle began. Blow after blow thundered across Kurukshetra. Duryodhana was magnificent, strong, skilled, precise. Bhim struck with fury, but nothing seemed to work. His body was like iron. Bhim was shocked, yet he continued fighting with fierce determination. Krishna observed silently. Then he tapped his own thigh. Bhim remembered. Years ago, Duryodhana had slapped his thigh in the royal court and insulted Draupadi. That day, Bhim had sworn, "I will break that thigh." But striking below the waist was against the rules. Bhim hesitated. Krishna's eyes said what words did not. Adharma cannot hide behind rules. With a roar that shook the earth, Bhim leapt and shattered Duryodhana's thigh. The sound echoed across history. Duryodhana fell. Balram roared and moved to strike Bhim, angry that he had broken the rules of the mace battle. Krishna intervened and asked him why he had not intervened when Duryodhana had broken all the rules of dharma. Balram left the place. Duryodhana lay on the ground, broken and alone. But the war was not over. That night, Ashwatthama burned with rage. In blind fury, he entered the Pandav camp at night. Sleeping warriors, unarmed soldiers. He killed the 5 sons of Draupadi, believing he had killed all 5 Pandav brothers. Afterward, he went to Rishi Vyasa's ashram. The Pandavas and Krishna arrived there, where Bhim and Arjun challenged him to come out. In his final act of hatred, Ashwatthama released a divine weapon toward the Pandavas. In response, Arjun had to release his Brahmastra as well. Rishi Vyas stopped the 2 weapons and asked both of them to withdraw their astras, as they would destroy the earth. Arjun withdrew his weapon, but Ashwatthama did not know how to. Instead, he redirected it toward the womb of Uttara, where Abhimanyu's unborn child lived. Ashwatthama was stripped of his divine jewel. Shri Krishna cursed him to wander the earth in pain. Krishna stepped forward and protected the child. That child would be named Parikshit. The Pandav lineage survived. Dharma survived. When the Pandavas returned to Hastinapur, Dhritarashtra welcomed all the Pandava brothers. He asked specifically for Bhim, but Krishna sensed his intention and replaced Bhim with an iron statue. When Dhritarashtra embraced what he thought was Bhim, his heart still burned with anger. He tried to crush him in his arms. The statue shattered. So did Dhritarashtra's anger. Grief replaced rage. Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, and Kunti later left Hastinapur for the forest, leaving the kingdom to the new generation. Kurukshetra was silent. The Pandavas had won, but at what cost? There were no celebrations, only ashes, only lessons, children. Mahabharata is not just a story of war. It is a mirror. It shows us what happens when greed grows, when pride refuses peace, when vows trap wisdom, and when dharma must fight to survive. And at the center of it all stood Krishna, not as a warrior, but as a guide. Jai Shri Krishna.